Hello everyone, welcome to my road to redemption. So it's not long that I've just had my 2020 Olympia competition with a disappointing 13th place, and this is all on me. And I realized looking back, like, the timing was just off for a lot of the prep, and having to then race towards the end to bring the look that I had. So this is all about redeeming that, and why it's always been 100% for myself. This whole bodybuilding journey, it's always because I've just loved to bodybuild and self-improve and get on stage and show that and know and feel that satisfaction of what I was able to learn along the way, the challenges that presented itself, and to meet that goal and get on stage. So to get on stage and feel like the process led to a less stellar look, something that was worse than what I've presented before, is just it's so frustrating, and it makes me angry, honestly, because a lot of that is under your control. You have two options you can really do with that, and I learn, and that's the beauty of bodybuilding, is that we're going to make mistakes, and we learn and we analyze and we regroup, and it fuels you and pushes you forward. That's how I've always been. Like, I've dealt with losses tremendously because it really lights a fire under my ass usually. Other people, they lose, and that just wipes them off, and they're so disappointed and can't pull themselves out of it. But so this is, I am so excited to get back on stage, and so that's why I picked the first show of the year to do. It made a lot of sense timeline wise, because I only prepped for Olympia, so I'm still really relatively fresh. So I'm going to do the Indy Pro, and currently I'm 7 weeks out from it. So this gave me about 8 weeks after Olympia to just bring body weight up slowly. I came up to like 222, was very comfortable, sleep was normal, had good energy, great training, and being then at 12 weeks out, I could prep for the show, which I was still really conditioned, so I'm able to come from a state of being super lean and then slowly bring body weight down, which is an approach that I hadn't been able to be that lean this far out before. So it's given me a great starting point for prep. So it's 7 weeks out. My look, I'm very lean. I have glute lines already, so I can just slowly come down to 212 and manage my fatigue a lot more. And that was the issue with Olympia, is that fatigue got so high, I wasn't able to push any harder without causing a lot of inflammation in the body and stalling fat loss. So when you're that lean towards the end of a show, you can't rush fat off. You just have a little bit of a supply of fat. You have to chip away at it, and that's when you get that really good stage look, and you're lean. You're not holding water from trying to train so hard to race the body fat off. So at this stage, I'm able to do a lot less cardio. Basically, I only do steps. I do some morning treadmill when I first get up, fasted, do 20 minutes on the treadmill, a 10% incline, 3 miles per hour. And then the rest of my day is just making sure I get my step count in, which is 10,000 steps per day, which I've increased over time. And like towards Olympia, I was up to like 16,000 steps per day. So that's how I progress energy expenditure and make sure I'm not getting lazy on prep and just laying on the couch more, and you're unaware that you're decreasing calorie expenditure and you're having to lower your food intake more. For me though, I do really well on low food intake, and so I've kept my diet. I've already cut back quite a bit. People are going to say, like, how are you on such low food? But I do really well with it. Training performance continues to climb. So it's about roughly 150 grams of carbs per day on my training days, 300 grams of protein, and 40 grams of fat. And that is counting the macronutrients in every food source. Vegetables, my protein in rice, fats and oatmeal, everything. On my off days is 100 grams of carbs, so 50 grams of carbs less, same amount of protein, and then 55 grams of fat. So a little bit additional fats are added on those days. Training has gone from when I was post Olympia, I was doing a pull push off legs off split. Now I've gone back since recovery's felt really good to doing pull push. I do a delta and arm day, a leg day, then I have an off day. So right now it's 4 days on and 1 day off. But like I said, training performance is slowly just continues to increase. So every time I go in the gym, I'm able to increase load to some extent or increase my reps to some extent. 2 scoops of Pump Pro, 1 scoop of Fury. So that's ideally what I'm trying to look for and maintain during prep. And really on prep at this stage, being this lean, it's all about just maintaining muscle. I'm 212, so this morning I was 216. So I don't have far to go. I'm probably going to be about 210 in the morning when I am stage ready. So just trying to get a pound a week to come down, but it's about maintaining muscle. So I don't need to go in the gym and do like 15 sets of chest and 15 sets of delts. That's going to drive up so much fatigue, and the amount of stimulus that it's providing is not giving me additional benefit. I just really need to train them for muscle maintenance. And this has been very much a mindset change for me over years. I used to go in the gym and like train harder on prep and go to failure every set and rest pause sets and think I need to do more to maintain muscle or even try to build unrealistically in prep. And that led me to really hard preps where fatigue was high. I'm then having to do more cardio, and then I'm holding water. And so now I've been able to just, as I prep, scale back my training. I go in the gym with on my logbook what I need to accomplish for the day. I'll increase load a little bit, maybe take 1 more rep, but then I stop there. If I have a progression, that's perfect. That's all I need. Even if I have a match in my load and reps, that's great. But if I see a decline, that's a note for me to make a change in my programming that, hey, fatigue is probably going to get high. At some state, your logbook is going to decline some, but I want to manage that fatigue as much as I can. So doing so has made my prep feel feels really easy. I don't get to a state of this suffering level, but I will get to a state of being extremely conditioned, and that is what I will bring to Indy. I will be the leanest that I've ever been, and I am determined to be it. Like, I won't walk on stage unless it's there. And so you can quote me now here. Like, if I wouldn't even do the show if I knew I wasn't improved. I'll never walk on stage like that again, like I did for Olympia. And I was so far committed in that I ended up doing it. And I don't have regrets because it's Olympia, but I will make sure that every year I'm coming back, it's some level of improvement that I am proud to display for myself. But with the current prep, it's going excellent, and like I said, it feels like I'm not on prep, which is strange. Sleep is still very regulated, 7 to 8 hours a night, and good quality. I wake up with good energy levels. And I still have a high day that I keep in place once a week. So my strategy for prep is to make sure like I'm bringing my body weight down that pound a week, and I'll aggressively do so. And I'd rather do it that way than add a high day in. And so what I usually do is have a meal, like 3 sushi rolls, and add a little bit extra carbohydrates throughout the day. Comes out to about 300 grams of carbs. So I'll have that if I notice my body weight comes down too quick. And so I'd rather do it that way than have more food every day. Then maybe by the end of the week, I'm like, oh man, I didn't bring body fat down enough this week. I can't go back in time and chisel more off. So this way I ensure myself that I'm pulling down, and I can always add food back in. So I think it's a good way to prep and to have those cyclic rotations in place like that. And with food, I'm doing all this prep myself and coaching myself now, which I can really regulate everything I do quite meticulously. So even with regarding hunger in this low food intake, like, John, how do you do this low food intake? It's pretty strategic. Like I feed when I'm hungry. And so like meal 1, hunger's higher, so I'll have more oats, and I do pumpkin in my oats to help with managing hunger, because oats are pumpkin's pretty high in fiber content. Please guys, let me know if you have any questions
comments. I try to answer you all the best that I can, and talk to you guys again soon.